WHGE 95.3 FM, the Advocacy Education Station. Coming up, The Open Eye with Patrice Gibbs. There's the Nsoromma. We do so because it came from the pressure All right. I see you, Jafar. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your host, Third Eye Optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. Yes, sir, right here. Hey, Happy New Year. Did y'all party last night? And some of y'all might not be up for my show. Hey, what's up, Jafar? All right. That's word. I know some of y'all was partying last night, huh? Yes, the Happy New... Wait a minute. How you start a new year in the dead of winter? Okay. Let's get with this. The real new year is when the cycle of life begins with new growth. That is the beginning of spring, called the vernal equinox. It happens on March 20th, not January 1st. And it's the point in time when the length of, excuse me, choked on it, me. And it's the point in time when the length of both day and night are equal. And you can't start something new in the dead of winter. So in March, when I come on the air and say Happy New Year, don't trip. Okay? All right. Hey, Sherry, I see you. Good morning, sister. All right, wait a minute. Let me get something going here. Up. All right quick. Get that out the way. All right. Views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual. Hey, Vaughn, Happy New Year. Yeah, buddy. Well, we lost some people this year, and quite a few. Colin Powell, and some I can't even think of right now. But South Africa lost a real hero. That's Bishop Desmond Tutu. Okay. Fondly known as the Arch, Tutu was a theologian and human rights activist who won the 1984 Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent efforts at breaking apart the apartheid system in South Africa. Apartheid, which kept black South Africans separated into Bantustan homelands without rights and violently oppressed in their own country, was bolstered by a legal system of racial hierarchy placing white people at the top. This was South Africa's own version of Jim Crow segregation. Okay? The passing of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu is another chapter of bereavement in our nation's farewell to a generation of outstanding South Africans who have bequeathed us a liberated South Africa. Tweeted South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. You know, I have to disagree with him on this liberated South Africa, and I'll tell you why. If you're living in an African country and your so-called former white oppressors, the colonizers, still control the means of production, the means of travel, the wealth, you're not free. You're still living under the yoke of your colonizer, of your oppressor. And that's what's going on in South Africa. You know, our oppression cannot take place without some of the oppressed working for the colonizer. And that's what's going on in South Africa. And of course, it's going on here. And I will hit you with more of that a little later. All right. In 1954, Betty White was criticized after having Arthur Duncan, a black tap dancer, on her show. White said, "I'm sorry, live with it." And this was the height of Jim Crowism. And she gave Duncan even more airtime. Guess what? Her show was canceled pretty soon after. Rest in peace, Betty White. Respect. Betty White died yesterday at the age of 99. All right. Oh, let me see. I got something else going here. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is really, I hope y'all get this. Especially melanated people. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Have you ever heard of, there's something in my eye. Have you ever heard of the albino redwood tree? Okay, albino redwood trees are unable to produce chlorophyll, which makes the leaves greener, which is really the lifeblood of the tree. It's the combination of the sun and the water, and However, these albino redwood trees are able to survive because they're able to fuse their roots with the roots of other redwood trees and live as parasites. You get it? I hope you do. All right. Something else I want to, Now, this is something I want you to understand and hear what my man is saying. Okay? I seen a homeless guy. I think this is from Dawn Jackson. It may have been posted by Tracy Johnson or Jafar or Jade. I'm not sure. But at any rate, Dawn Jackson said, "I saw a homeless guy at Popeyes in Memphis, and I gave him some loose ones in my pocket, and he said, 'Thank you.' So I asked him, 'How did you get to this point?' He looked up and smiled and said, 'Showing love.' I asked, 'What do you mean?' He said, 'I went through my whole life making sure everyone else was okay no matter what was going right or wrong in my life. I did for others. I never wanted to see others go without. I asked, 'Do you regret it?' He said, no, it just hurt me to my soul that the very people I gave the shirt off my back to wouldn't give me a sleeve off that same shirt when I was in need. He said, it's better to build your own house and invite someone in for shelter than to hand them your bricks while you are building yours. Because if you keep handing them bricks from the house that you were supposed to be building for you, you will turn around one day and that spot where you had planned to build your house will be empty. It will be an empty lot. Then you are the one that's looking for bricks. And you know, that's for those of us. Look, here's the thing. Takers have no limits. So those of us that are generous have to draw the line somewhere. You understand that? Because takers have no limits. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. Yes, I will be joined soon by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma. You often hear me talk about the presidents, specifically the founding fathers. Jefferson, Washington, Madison, Monroe, and what have you. And my criticism for them is harsh, and rightfully so, because these men were monsters. What's his name? Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. Turkish dude, progressive, leader of the Young Turks. He was talking about when black men are murdered, black people are murdered by the police for no reason, a traffic stop, accused of shoplifting or, falsely accused in these cases, or some Karen then called the cops on some black person that made her uncomfortable, and the cops show up and murder them. And he said, Cenk Uygur said that, how dare you try to look for a reason why this innocent black person should have been murdered by the cops, by declaring that they were violent or they come from our culture that pathologizes violence, that they have that pathology in them. They are violent people. And he said, how dare you, when the worst savages are the ancestors of the right wing in the South, and really throughout the United States, who raped and murdered black men, women, and children. Well, let me tell you something. That savagery didn't end with slavery. It didn't end when slavery was concentrated in the South. The northern colonies abolished slavery, even though they continued to benefit from slavery. That savagery, that feeling that it's okay to impose your person and views on someone, whether it was physically, whether it was to kill them, or what have you. It didn't end with the end of slavery. Case in point, Grover Cleveland. You ever heard of him? Grover Cleveland was the 22nd and 24th president of the United States. He served as the American head of state from 1885 to 1889, and again between 1893 and 1897. During his initial election in 1884, a particularly ill-tempered experience by all accounts, Democratic candidate Cleveland came under scrutiny for allegations he had fathered an illegitimate child 10 years prior with a New York woman to whom he continued to pay child support. Acknowledging the fact, Cleveland explained the situation away, stating that although he had an affair, the woman had slept with several other married men, and he had merely elected to pay for the child despite not knowing if it was indeed his, out of their concern for well-being. What a crock. Okay, what he was basically doing was blaming the woman for having an illegitimate child by declaring that she was promiscuous and basically saying that she was a whore who slept with several women. He didn't even know if the child was his. Now, see, this was characterized as the courageous way. He made a mistake and had an affair. Cleveland weathered the political storm. However, despite public acceptance, his laudatory account was simply a lie. In 1874, after months of harassment, Maria Halpin, 38-year-old sales clerk in Buffalo, New York, went to dinner with then Eric County Sheriff Cleveland. Okay, he was the Erie County Sheriff, Grover Cleveland at that time. Following their meal, Cleveland escorted her home where he violently raped her. Forced under pressure by Cleveland to give the child up for adoption, she eventually sought to retrieve the child. Dragged by Cleveland's lackeys to Providence Lunatic Asylum, they attempted to have her institutionalized. She was released after 3 days, and doctors determined her incarceration was without warrant and abuse of a political authority. So see that savagery didn't end with the Civil War, or with the end of slavery. Because as we know, after slavery, there was Jim Crow. So Grover Cleveland did not have an affair, and there were not several men who slept with this woman. Grover Cleveland raped her. Sorry, bastard. Get the hell out of here. Jeez. Okay. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. All right. We'll be back on the air in a minute. Nsoromma in the house, setting up. All right. You get my text? Yeah. And I forgot one. Text me this morning. Nsoromma in the house for those online. Big up, brother.
Happy New Year to you, brother. Oh, Happy New Year, everybody. You know what I'm saying? What's up, boy?
Yo, the New Year actually starts in March.
Yo, Mike Little was hiding chill out. Yo, what's good? Hey, yo, Nate. Yeah, I'm in the building now. So, yeah, I'm here now, boy. Hey, need that. Oh, what? Oh, most definitely. The lights on, boy. Oh, yeah. That's what it is.
All right.
We stay on point. Hey. right, it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Trump told you spray it all in your mouth and everything. You thought he was lying, but that's for real. Corona kill everything. That kill everything. Everything. Nah, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing. Don't that. They be like, word.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Good morning, Nsoromma. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, brother. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, we all
Hello,
celebrate
world.
New
Happy
Year.
New Year to everyone. I hope
Yeah.
it be a blessed one.
Even though, as I told you earlier,
Okay.
the New Year actually starts in March.
Okay.
Okay. This January 1st thing is a European construct. Don't get it mixed.
Okay.
Don't get it mixed. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Breaking news. The CDC announces people can return to work after they eat these saltines and sip this ginger ale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Say that again.
The CDC announces people can return to work after they eat these saltines and sip this ginger ale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That'll take care of the corona for you.
That was a black remedy anyway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's messy.
Yes, it is.
That's messy.
Yep. You know, CDC stands for Can't Disrupt Capitalism. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, now what is this about? What is this about? Well, you know, the CDC is facing criticism over COVID isolation guidelines as Omicron drives up cases and child hospitalizations. The CDC on Wednesday explained its decision to cut its COVID-19 isolation guidelines in half from 10 days to 5. The move was received with heavy criticism as the Omicron variant drives up cases and hospitalizations amongst children.
Do you know where they get their names at? The names of these diseases and stuff? Homer Simpson.
Huh?
Off of Homer Simpson. If you go to the Simpsons, you'll see all the shows. The Simpsons been not playing for over 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
These are reruns that you're seeing. You understand? So you're hearing these words, and these skits are already plotted out through these TV shows.
Yeah, well, the Simpsons have been predicting things for years.
So how is that possible?
What is it? Is that the show, The Simpsons? Because I don't watch it.
Yeah, I think it's The Simpsons.
Well,
they a lot of stuff that's going on in worldly news now is really some skits from off The Simpsons that, you know, that's mind-blowing to me.
I heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it feels like joking about the CDC is the only way to process the seemingly observed fact that yet another institution that is supposed to protect people has instead chosen to protect capitalism, effectively dissolving whatever small modicum of trust anyone might have had for it. You know, and Nina Turner said, remember, 8 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Basically, the CDC guidance is the government telling working class people that employer profits come before the health of our communities. That's scandalous. I'd like to thank both Tracy Johnson and Jardea for posting on that. You know, because, you know, the CDC, a government entity, okay, and of course we know at this point in time that the American government has sold out their people years ago, okay. Corporations are actually controlling our government.
I mean, it's the money that make it run. And basically the government's broke anyway.
Yeah.
So the people that's making money can have a say on what they doing with their money.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so that's what's happening.
And you know what? I'll tell you something.
What?
Our politicians sell out cheap.
I mean, right. I mean, they shouldn't even be put in a position to be able to sell out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
If you're a politician, and or you representing a group of people, it shouldn't be no way that you should be able to even become part of the other side.
I heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Without being punished to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? These are thousands and sometimes millions of lives that, you know, these politicians is
affected.
Right. And that in itself, where is the, you know, the honor And what are you doing for all of these souls that you have behind you? You know what I'm saying?
And it's something. Well, congressmen make $150,000-$170,000 a year. Senators, maybe $200,000 a year. I don't have the exact numbers, but don't worry about it. The point is this: all of them, after they've been in office for a term or two,
right,
become millionaires. How the hell does that happen? Because they take the money from the lobbyists. Because they sell out, basically. That's how they become millionaires. If you can give a good 2 terms and vote the corporate way for, at least 2 terms, you ain't got to do it no more. You can just go on home. See, the problem is...
It's already put in effect. They'll put it in effect, and it'll be years later, you see it. You see what they did. Oh, that's what he did when he was in there. And that's how it be. You know what I'm saying? We got to watch out for that, because that's what it's...
Right.
That's what's sabotaging America.
Big time. Big time. You know what? What happens... Well, the problem is this.
What?
The problem is campaigns to get in office are all fueled by money. Okay? You have countries like some European countries that are social democracies and what have you, okay? Where their campaigns are not funded by corporations and what have you, okay? They're funded by the government, and that funding has a limit and a ceiling, okay? If you cannot promote your ideals in some of these countries,
right,
based on the merit of your policy, you won't get in office, okay? See, here, it don't matter, how sorry your policies are and your ideals are, as long as you can raise enough money to keep the commercials going, to keep the indoctrination going,
right,
and, fool the people into voting against their own interests. Both parties, as we often tell you, are nothing but crime families who have sold out. You know what? Now, you'll hear some people say, well, what about the Congressional Black Caucus? Well, let me tell you what the Congressional Black Caucus is. The Congressional Black Caucus...
I gotta get ready for a bull.
Okay,
I'm ready.
The Congressional Black Caucus is nothing but a bunch of goddamn sellouts, and the Congressional Black Caucus is nothing but a fundraising apparatus to keep these goddamn sellouts in office.
Oh man.
And I mean, that's just sad, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Furthermore,
how do we, okay, if we see this going on and we see it, how do we
what's the solution? What we doing about
I mean, what's the okay, we see you doing this to us. You know what I'm saying? So what can I do to get? We got to straighten this out.
Right, and the only way I see to straighten it out, of course, is to wake people up. But the thing about that is that you
really want to be woke up.
You got people that don't want to be woke up. You got people that are comfortable in the system of their oppression and indoctrination, and that's a big part of the problem. And another big part of the problem are right-wing, racist white people who continually and have for centuries been fooled by the elites to vote against their own interests based on emotionalism and not based on building up their environment and their communities. And that's just sad, but that's the way it is.
Wow.
And you got some black people that participate in that.
And I mean, it's two sides to the coin on everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about the majority. We have to start working on the majority right now is to more the white wing type of thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we, in the process of being, this voice that goes across however far. You know what I'm saying? To be able to say, okay, this is what's going on. And, yo, it's messed up. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple people doing it. And, yo, if we all get together and do this and start acting like this, we can possibly make a change in 2 months. And we give a time limit on stuff to see if the public working with us. Matter of fact, 844-944-3953. Hit us up and call us and talk to us and give us some ideas about how we can problem solve some of the stuff that we got going on in America.
Right.
For real. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
This is the Open Eye Radio Show.
Indeed. Now, in support of what Nsoromma was saying,
Right?
what Dr. King suggested and pushed was to change the system. And that's what a lot of people are talking about now. Capitalism has to go. Okay? Well, wait a minute. All right? Yeah, capitalism is a system, an economic system that requires a victim. It's crazy, but that's the way the system works. It requires that some people be kept down. Now, you have European countries that have capitalism,
Right.
but what they do to offset that capitalism is they have a social democracy and social programs to keep those that may fall by the wayside from falling off the economic map, which we here are not willing to do. Okay, America was willing to do this under FDR. Okay, but even that was shaky for us, because here's the thing: capitalism worked fine in America up until about 1980, maybe the 70s. Okay, what happened after the civil rights movement? Okay, because capitalism and the capitalist system, okay, you know, white men were holding jobs. You only needed one income in your family. You were able to send your children to college. You were able to buy a house and what have you. Okay, but after the civil rights movement and things were supposed to open up, okay, capitalism all of a sudden wasn't working for everybody. It wasn't working for black people, and what they did was they moved the manufacturers out of the country. They moved the manufacturers out of neighborhoods where black people had access to these great jobs and what have you. Okay, and without a job that could support your family, now mom and dad had to go to work. Okay? And as things progressed and as the elites were able to tamp down economic opportunities for anybody but white men, now you need 2 or 3 jobs for both husband and wife in the family just to survive. And then you look at the condition and the mindset of the politicians in office. Joe Biden is pushing 80, and he's talking about running again in 2084. Joe Biden, when he came into office, there were at least 5 or 6 senators and congressmen who had been born in the 1800s that were still in office. And guess what their mindset was? Their mindset was, we don't need no ninjas.
No, they were plantation owners.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, that's the mindset.
That's the mindset.
It's
That's
sad.
the mindset. It is. It is. You know, hey, we don't just point out the problems. We want to talk about the solutions. And the solutions is the average age of congressmen being 60 years old or so need to go. Need new blood, and fresh ideals in our political system. This is the Open Eye, WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
Right here on the Education Advocacy Station.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, buddy.
Yo, what's good, y'all? I want to say, yo, blessings for a new birth for you. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. It's a new 22. 22. You dig me? 2022. How many twos is that? I don't know. Just do you in 2022. For real.
That's word. Yes, indeed.
You like, I don't celebrate New Year. You don't celebrate New Year? It's a New Year to me.
I heard that.
I made it.
Yes, yeah.
But you do it in March. So I'm going to have two of them then.
That's right.
I got two.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe I need to go over this one again.
Yeah.
This might have been style. Let me get it here.
Oh, you said it earlier?
Yeah.
I got it tuned in. I tuned in late too. Yo, Happy New Year, everybody. For real, everybody tuning in. Hey, yo, say hey. What's good? Hey, old man.
Okay.
I see you. Uh-huh. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, that's nice. WHGE 95.3 FM. Yeah, buddy. Look, Nsoromma wasn't here when I broke down about the New Year, so I'm going to give it again because some of y'all might not have been here either.
I ain't hear that. What you say?
Okay, the real New Year is when the cycle of life begins with new growth. That is the beginning of spring, called the vernal equinox. It happens March the 20th, and it's the point in time when the length of both day and night are equal. You can't begin something anew in the dead of winter. Happy New Year. And yep, I'll be here in March to tell you a Happy New Year for real. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Breaking update. Okay, I want to thank Jakeem Muhammad
Thanks, Jakeem.
for this. Yes, indeed. Jakeem is another journalist out there. He has a show on Facebook. I think it comes on Fridays at 7 called The Hard Talk with Jakeem. If you haven't seen it, check my brother out because he bringing it hard.
Harder than you?
Nah,
Don't even try. Okay. No disrespect.
No disrespect. Big up Jakeem. All right.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Right. While LAPD officers were shooting at an assault suspect inside a Burlington coat factory in North Hollywood, a round went through a dressing room wall and killed a 14-year-old girl.
Like, was the suspect shooting back?
No.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be shooting in the mall, man.
That's right.
That's
the
what I'm
LAPD.
saying. That's what I mean.
They unloaded their guns inside a crowded department store at a man that did not have a gun or knife.
That was my first question.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, did he have a weapon for them to start firing? Was he black?
No. The suspect, I don't know, actually.
Normally they don't shoot a white guy just straight like that.
Right. So the likelihood is that
he got a pair of sneaks. Put him down.
Big time.
Nah.
Yep.
I don't see him doing that.
Nah.
But
no.
We gotta know if the guy was black or white. That's ridiculous, man. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For real.
You know, in 99% of the world, police are banned from firing guns at someone that does not have a gun or a knife.
First of all, you're supposed to think where you are when you pull your weapon. You know what I'm saying? You go through a lot of training to get your gun permit and all your credentials to even carry that weapon.
Right.
Now, if you ain't, you have to do this hundreds of times before they give you these credentials. You have to go to the range. You have to be put in scenarios and all kind of stuff. So, and plus they've been on the job for however long. Now, why would you go pull and empty a clip or a magazine on an unarmed individual?
Yeah, because you just wilded out.
That's straight murder.
That's straight murder.
I don't care if you have a badge on. I don't care if you have a security badge on. That doesn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
And whatever they aim to do, they made it 10 times worse when they killed a child.
Right.
And her name...
That's the whole purpose of that training, is to know when to pull a gun. If you don't know who's behind that wall that it went through, you know, you got to be aware of your surroundings.
That's word. Her name was Valentina Oriana.
Man, bless her soul.
Parata. I hope I pronounced it right. Parata. Yeah. And she was shopping for her quinceanera dress, which is... Okay, they have a coming of age event in the Hispanic community, and she was shopping for her dress for that event. and she was killed for nothing. You know, now.
Wagwan. Wagwan.
Nsoromma was saying about the training. Now, here's the thing about the training in other countries. Here, where they go to the police academy about 6 weeks. In other countries, you have to go a year or two before you actually put on the force.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and they are very well screened in other countries. Not so here. Because what happens here is you have police forces that have been infiltrated by white supremacy at a high rate. And you know what? I got something for you on that too. Yeah. Because there was a
What?
undercover
Sting?
Yeah, well, there was an undercover officer
Oh.
who was undercover for years.
Right.
Yeah. He was undercover for years. And what he did was he found that these police forces were permeated with KKK members, white supremacy, and what have you. If you want to know why people don't trust the police, it's because they have a relative or friend that they witnessed being targeted by an extremist who happens to have a badge and a gun. And I know as a fact that this has occurred. I stopped a murder plot of law enforcement officers, is what Officer Moore, undercover cop, told AP News. Among his efforts, Moore stopped a plot by 3 members of the Florida chapter, a traditionalist American Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, to kill a black man. The 3 men were current and former correction officers among a group of other officer Klan members, at the reception and medical center in Lake Butler, Florida. When Moore attended Klan meetings, he wore a wire, sometimes captured video, and would often record license plate numbers registered to law enforcement officers who attended. Okay? So what he found out was what we already knew, that the police forces throughout the country are permeated with white supremacists. Give you
it ain't only the police, it's the judicial system.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
correction officers, prosecutors, defense attorney. You go get a defense attorney, a public defender provided by the courts, okay? And he tell you some crazy mess like, well, they're going to throw everything they can at you, and they're just going to take what sticks against the wall, and there's not a lot I can do about it. So what I advise you is to accept this plea deal and go ahead and just do 15 years as opposed to doing life. Even though we know you didn't do it, it's not a lot we can do.
okay, who
that's your lawyer.
Who go after that guy?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what they do.
You're right.
And no one has no channel of getting that guy right there.
Right.
That started. Who? And I think it is a place you go after that guy. It's called the Disciplinary Review Board.
Right.
And you put in a letter to him, and you let him know that this guy is on the verge of what you call it when you not setting people up, but you're setting people up to fail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a word for that. I can't think of it right now.
I can't either.
It's all in the wording that you write. It's all, link up with Mr. Gibbs here because he's a verbalologist. You see what I'm saying? That's how my slang scenario coming out.
I like that though. A verbalologist.
Hey, listen, it's ways to get them and to put them in the spotlight. So we have to start putting those type of people in those type of situations in the spotlight.
That's right.
And then we'll know who these people are, and then know who to look out for,
and how to deal with these
and how to deal with these individual terrorists, because that's what they are to our community.
Yes. Yes, they are. Now, have you heard about New York? New York City has elected another black man there. It's going to be another brother, and he's a Democrat, and all this, that, and other. And he's going to appoint the first female police commissioner, and it's going to be a black woman. And we should be celebrating that, right? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Yo, I don't know what kind of what was that came out. I was like,
No, yeah.
But I mean,
New York
you'll
City.
see. Even though we already seeing. I mean, say what you're saying.
Okay.
Say what you're saying.
New York City Mayor-elect Eric Adams.
Okay.
Like I said, he's a Democrat. He's going to appoint Kachat Sewell to become the city's first female police commissioner. Now, why is that a problem for me? Okay, I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Because this Negro Pig Ranch, okay, is talking about reinstating what they call broken window policy, which means that they're going to put undercover cops out on the streets of New York, and guess where? In the black community, to prosecute and go after those that do petty crimes.
That's entrapment, man.
And what did they call it before? Stop and frisk. That's all that crap is.
All of that's entrapment. I mean, they enforcing these codes. They ain't even laws. These are codes that are they making up and throwing out there in the public. And I mean, the pen is more mightier than the sword.
Yes.
So we have to start using that. I can't say that enough, but that's the only way we have to attack it. And when you start putting the same people that's putting your name in effect, and you put their name on paperwork, and you start sending it back, and they start telling their friends that you know how to write and read and put in paperwork to get them looked at too, you would not have as much problems as you having. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the pen, man, and knowing who to write and knowing where to write, so they can be noticed too, because they be wrong too sometimes. And most of the time, I say all the time, because they pull up and make things happen.
Well, you know, I want to move on here.
What?
And I want to ask some people to think about this. What'd you get for Christmas? Did you get some Banana Republic or some Dolce Gabbana or some Mary Kay? Did you get a Coach bag? How about some Avon? That stuff stinks to me.
Right.
Did you get some Gucci? How about some Louis Vuitton?
I don't know.
Yeah. How about, did you get a new pair of Nikes or some Guess jeans? You got one of them Prada dresses, sister? Or brother, did you get some of that Ralph Lauren spray? Yeah. Or some Timberland boots? Does anybody still wear a Tommy Hilfiger?
Man, I mean, that ain't never stopping.
Or Versace?
They all outlet stores.
Yeah.
They all stores you can come throw your money at.
Well, Tracy Johnson asked the question, how much of their income comes from our community?
More than half, I can guarantee you that.
And how much of that income is redistributed back into black communities?
Zero.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Ego-driven consumerism is a problem. Because, you know what? Look, I got this shirt here. It's a nice shirt. I don't know who the hell the brand maker is.
It's a nice shirt.
Yeah. $5 at the thrift store.
Oh, yeah. Because, you know, people like me, I donate my clothes to the thrift store. And it'd be nice clothes. I buy nice clothes. You know what I'm saying? And it's also a tax write-off if you have a business. So we got to start thinking more business-minded, too.
And we got to stop ego-driven consumerism and buying products from people that don't give a damn about us.
Right.
And they're not investing in our communities. Okay? You know, I brought up last week, one of the solutions that I have in mind is to do a reverse on gentrification. And do that by our money people. Stop spending your money on brand names and start spending your money on building up the community. We pick an area of the city, and instead of allowing gentrification, we invest in that area in the city and build it up for us. Okay? We get a new strip mall that's all the businesses are supported by us. See, here's the thing. We fall into the trap that we have to integrate. Okay, we're the only people that require that of ourselves, and allow society to require that we share our wealth. We see other communities, you have Little Italy, you got Chinatown, you got Little Havana, and this, that, and the other. But if you try to establish Little Black Town, oh, you're being racist. Okay? Look, I have no problem with you building up your community. But get the hell out of my face with that crap that I can't build up mine unless I'm a racist. That's bull. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, buddy, I caught that one myself. Yeah, buddy. That's what it is. You know? And I tell you, we got, like I said, this ego-driven consumerism, keeping up with the Joneses. You all heard that. Somebody in your neighborhood, your neighbor get a new car. All right? Now, you got to run down there and get a new car because even though you went in debt to get that car, okay, you making car payments that you don't need. I got a friend of mine, he got 3-4 cars.
That's me.
And he owns them. All right?
That's me.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the reason why I did that is because I never want to walk again, unless I have to.
I heard that.
Being broke down is a terrible thing.
Right? But you didn't do it to keep up with the Joneses or to impress anybody in your neighborhood.
Oh, nah, exactly.
No, you didn't do that. So wake up to that, y'all. Look, start investing in our community and in each other instead of taking your money and spending it on some name brand that is not going to bring any benefit to your community other than your ego.
Make our money circulate through our community 12, 14, 17 times before it leaves. And then we'll see a change. Support your brothers, support your next door neighbor, whatever they do in business. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that.
Nope.
You know, we go outside our community for the business that we need, and it's right there in our community. You know what I'm saying?
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. Yo, what's good? I see you. Hey, yo, most definitely. Hey, yo. Jafar.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, he was on mine too.
I mean, I'm reading yours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jafar said the Willie Lynch syndrome, almost definitely.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it goes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you gotta break that down. Wow. We gotta break that, you know?
That's what
Can't
we gotta
nobody
do.
break that but you individually. We gotta start with each one of us going boom, bam, 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 be able to do that, all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. My city, Nsoromma. My city, Nsoromma, WHGE 95.3 FM. Yeah, buddy. Hey, look, and he died a few years ago. Robert Mugabe. What country was he president of? I want to say Zaire, but at any rate, you know, one of the things that trips us out is since slavery ended, since we stopped being slaves, okay, Caucasians accuse black people of being lazy since we stopped working for free. And look, Mugabe broke it down like this. The distance between Egypt, Canaan, and Israel, Canaan, is about 613 kilometers. Okay? That's like 613 yards or something. But it took them.
It's like,
Yeah, it ain't far.
it's not far.
No, it ain't far. The distance between Egypt and Israel is like.
clicks. I was thinking clicks.
Oh,
Clicks is
okay.
different.
Okay.
Yeah, kilometer, yeah.
Yeah, kilometers,
Okay.
you know, or it's not no 613 miles, I'm pretty sure. But at any rate, it took Moses and the Israelites 40 years to complete their journey. On the average, each day they walked only 43 feet, or 43 yards. That's right, 43 yards, almost half of what Usain Bolt does in 5 seconds. So that is feet. So yeah, no, that is yards, 43 yards. Usain Bolt can do that in 5 seconds. I just wish Moses was around to explain this laziness. That's what Robert Mugabe said. That's because the stories of Jews in ancient Canaan is totally BS. No Jews built the pyramids or the Sphinx because they're older than the Bible's timeline of creation of Adam and Eve. The events of Jews in Canaan isn't documented anywhere upon its many walls. Moses is never mentioned even once. In fact, there are no grave sites for anyone in the Bible. It's all BS. I know some of y'all don't like to hear that, but that's the reality. All right? And I see, look, Chancellor Williams tells us, no matter the factual data, all the books written about blacks by their conquerors reflect the conqueror's viewpoint. You understand that? Until history is written, look, how Patrice Nsoromma say it. Until the story of the hunt is told by the lion, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunter. You understand that? Yo, bro, time to run out on us again. That's weird, but I got to give y'all a little something on. How was your year, brother?
Blessed.
Okay.
Yes.
Blessed. Oh,
yeah. Blessed.
All right. Well, in spite of the craziness, the ongoing oppression of black people, the pandemic, peaks and valleys, 2021 was a year of enlightenment and growth and great change. There were people who treated me with compassion, showed me love and affection, thank you, brother, and were very supportive. Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah.
Now, relationships are always changing. Some loved ones passed on, may they rest in power. I gained some new friends and associates, and I lost a couple.
Right.
Yeah. Some relationships grew, others cooled, they ended. Some people are in your life for a season. When that season's up, let go. It's called freedom. There were people I intended to use. God forgive me. There were some people that I might have messed over who didn't have it coming. I'm sorry. There were some people I messed over who had it coming. I got you. There were some people who treated me with no regard or respect. There were some people who were only out to use me. There were some people who intended to mess me over. Get your beeper ready here, brother. Kiss my ass. And go to hell with gasoline doors on. Yes, indeed. I saw people at their best.
Right.
I saw people at their worst. I saw people display great courage, compassion, and true strength in the face of almost unbearable adversity. I got great respect for people like that. There were days I was a fool, but never a damn fool. I did some dumb stuff, damn. I made some really smart moves, though, and I tried to maintain my integrity. I can still look in the mirror.
Okay.
There were major accomplishments and success, as well as some disappointments. I won a couple of awards for my work. Being an eternal optimist, I view my failures and disappointments as minor setbacks to learn from. And I leave it at that and accentuate the positive. I hope you all do the same in this coming year. And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you
As an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I got
Be back next week.
That's right.
Happy New Year.
See you later, child. Yo, thanks for tuning in. Yo, us, Brother Slaughter, what's good? Everything good? Yeah, I know karma is, you know what I'm saying? Nick, what's happening? Hey, yo, Pat. Yo, Jafar, you be on here, boy.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm telling you, boy, I can't read fast enough, boy, but you, boy, Bobby, boy. Yeah. Peace, yo.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jafar. Thanks for your comments and what have you. And hey, everybody over here, Anthony, who else is that? Who got her? Oh yeah. Oh, your thing went off there. Okay. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Anthony Ray. Who else is that? Jafar. I got to give shout outs to Tracy Johnson, Sherry Bryson, and Jadea, and my man Vaughn. Do some of your stuff. And a big shout out to my brother in Detroit, General Seti. Big ups. Right on. All right. Join us next week. Peace.